The FAA is planning on hiring 2,000 new air traffic controllers in 2025. As part of their initiative, they're opening an application period from October 11th to November 4th of 2024. If you're thinking about a career change into aviation, this might be the perfect opportunity for you.
How many people go through life doing work they really don't like, but every day dreaming of, say, working in the aviation industry? They say it's too late. They think it would be too hard. They think it would go against conventional norms. If you never go after what you want, you'll never have it. This is Fly the Transition. Join us as we soar through the captivating stories of individuals embracing a thrilling journey into the aviation industry. From pilots spreading their wings to mechanics fine-tuning the engines and a myriad of industry professionals, each with a unique tale to tell. Get ready to dive into the diverse backgrounds, the pivotal moments that propelled their leap, and the sheer determination that transformed their aspirations into reality. We're not just about dreams. We're about making them take flight. Welcome to Fly the Transition. And now your host, Jim Schilling.
Welcome back, all my aviation friends, to another episode of Fly the Transition, the podcast where we explore career change into the aviation industry. I'm your host, Jim, and today we're diving into an exciting and rewarding career path that keeps our skies safe, becoming an air traffic controller. If you're thinking about a career change into aviation, but you're not sure flying is for you, this might be the perfect opportunity for you. Last week, the FAA announced some important news regarding hiring of air traffic controllers. The FAA is planning on hiring 2,000 new air traffic controllers in 2025 as part of their ongoing efforts to maintain aviation safety. As part of their initiative for 2025, they're opening an application period from October 11th to November 4th of 2024. Just for a recap, during 2024, the agency had the biggest hiring numbers in about 10 years, hiring over 1,800 new controllers. They're also saying that they have about 3,400 controllers in various stages of training. Now, that can be anything from going through the FAA Academy in Oklahoma City to going through the various stages of training at an actual facility to become a fully certified controller. At any rate, this offers a huge opportunity for anyone considering a change into aviation on the controller side. Now, most of us probably already know what air traffic controllers do, but for those who are newer to aviation, controllers are responsible for managing more than 45,000 flights a day, and they're an essential part of keeping air travel safe. So if you thrive in a fast-paced environment, this career could be for you. We're going to go over qualifications, the application process, and everything that you're going to need to know to get started. An air traffic controller is responsible for managing the flow of aircraft in the skies, at airports, and ensuring safety and efficiency in those operations. If you're wondering what the day-to-day life of a controller could look like, here's a bit of a breakdown. Contrary to what you might see on television, not all controllers just sit up in the tower and control all the aircraft from there. There's different types of facilities that they can work at, as well as different positions to make the entire process of air travel flow through the system. The one people are most familiar with are those that are working in the control towers. Those are the ones typically responsible for the airspace up to about 5 miles from a given airport, as well as the surface movement or on the ramps as people taxi from, say, the gate to a runway. The next would be your terminal radar control facilities, which are the ones who are your approach and departure controllers. So once an aircraft takes off from an airport or is coming in to land at an airport, they'll talk to these controllers to get sequenced in to a nice orderly fashion for those tower controllers. And the next category we'll talk about is the en-route controllers. Those are the ones who are working at a facility controlling a large area of airspace, covering many states. It's normally higher altitudes between the airport approach and departures. So once you're out of the departure area, you'll get passed over to a center controller who will work you through en route to your destination. Now, in a job like this, there is going to be shift work involved, working evenings, weekends, and holidays. But the pay over time is excellent, and there's a huge sense of responsibility in working as a controller. So whether you're in the tower, working at a radar facility, or guiding aircraft through complex weather conditions, this can be a really critical role in aviation. And guess what? It's not just about directing airplanes. You're helping people get to their destinations safely. You're helping to keep the flow of traffic orderly through the vast airspace across our country. And the job can be different every day, offering challenges and excitement, working with other highly skilled professionals. So you'll get to collaborate with pilots and make split-second decisions that impact thousands of lives every day. So if this sounds interesting or exciting to you, we should talk about what you need to qualify for these positions before you can apply. First is all applicants need to be U.S. citizens, and if applicable, you need to be registered for selective service. The next thing you'll need, and this is kind of a big one if you're looking at a midlife career change, you need to be younger than 31 years of age at the closing date, which is going to be November 4th for the specific window. So the issue with age is that in the United States, the FAA does have a mandatory retirement age of 56 for their controllers. So with that, they want to see their controllers get a 25-year career path, so you can't start after the age of 31. There are a number of findings that suggest that the ability to cope with high stress, fast-paced, and multitasking work conditions can deteriorate with age. So with that, the FAA, for the purpose of operational safety of our national airspace, has imposed a mandatory retirement age. Back to the other qualifications, you do have to have at least 1 year of work experience or 4 years of college education. You also have to be able to relocate to any FAA facility based on their staffing needs, and of course, you will need to speak English clearly through radio communication. Obviously, being able to communicate clearly and concisely is critical in being able to control traffic and give pilots instructions on where they need to be. So as far as the application process, it's not quick and it's not simple. It can take up to 6 months from the time that you apply to when you actually start training. So the application starts by visiting the FAA's website for BATC. I'm going to put a link for that in the show notes so you don't have to worry about writing that down. But there's a lot of really good information about the eligibility, the application process itself, benefits, and so much more. And that includes a number of videos as well as checklists that are going to help you out along the way. It's pretty extensive. It's really well put together. So it should answer most of the questions that you have about what this process looks like. So you will need to submit an application as well as a resume, and the candidates that do meet the eligibility criteria are invited to take the air traffic control skills assessment test from the FAA. This is a test that evaluates your ability to solve complex problems, make quick decisions, and handle multiple tasks under stress. It's a test that's administered in person at an improved facility, and you have about 3.5 hours to complete the test. This is a space where you can actually take some proactive steps and prepare, though. There's a number of resources online that are available to help candidates prepare, such as ATC Prep, and the FAA has their own guidelines as well. Yes, aptitude tests can be kind of intimidating, but with the right preparation, you might be more comfortable stepping into that test. So if selected beyond the skills assessment, you'll then need to still pass a medical and psychological exam, as well as a background and security check for employment. So now that you've jumped through all of those hoops, we're 6 months down the road, what comes next? Once you pass those initial steps, a successful applicant is going to head to the FAA Academy in Oklahoma City, where they'll start their training. This program is intense and it can last several months, depending on your placement. You will undergo both classroom instruction and hands-on simulation to prepare you for real-world ATC duties. There was recently a really interesting video on Challenge Accepted where she takes on different parts of the FAA training curriculum, a tabletop scenario and being in the actual simulator. So obviously it's for entertainment purposes for those who aren't familiar with aviation, but she does a pretty good job still of showing the basics of air traffic control. So I'm going to put that in the show notes as well if you want to check that out, if you're not quite sure what ATC is all about and what that training could look like. Again, this is just a small snapshot meant for entertainment purposes, but take a look anyway. Once you complete your initial training at the FAA Academy, they'll assign you from there to an air traffic control facility, whether it be a tower, your TRACON, or the center, wherever you may end up working. And then you're going to go through some development and training there as well. So you won't just leave the academy and be fully certified. You need to learn the nuances of the area you'll be controlling, such as different altitude restrictions, fixes, procedures, things like that. So you'll be trained with a skilled trainer who's going to help you and continue to hone your skills under their supervision. It is a demanding process, and from those that I've talked to who are controllers, it can take years before you are fully certified within your facility. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. These are really high demanding jobs that have a lot of risk associated with them if not done correctly. So they want to make sure that you're set up for success, so your training is going to be extensive. Controllers also say that even though it's a demanding journey, they can say that the job is worth the sense of responsibility and accomplishment that it brings to them. The other thing to keep in mind, the paycheck at the end of the day doesn't hurt either. Though you don't necessarily start making six figures, you do have an earning potential of six figures throughout your career, and you have job stability, excellent benefits, and you have a direct impact on the safety of aircraft in the skies. So you're sitting there thinking this all sounds great, and you want to start working through a process of transitioning into a career in ATC. Well, there are a few tips that I would offer that might help make your journey a little smoother. First, start early. Ensure that you're going to make the age requirement before that window closes, and if you're nearing that age limit, you really need to start acting now if this is something that you're interested in. This is going to give you enough time to adequately prepare before you get into a process like this, because again, it's time consuming, it's going to require a lot of patience, and it's going to be stressful, so having the right mindset is going to be important. So start thinking about that early if you are thinking about getting on this next process, or even the one after that, assuming that there will be another hiring process further down the road the next year or so. Next, prepare for your skill assessment tests. As I talked about, I'm going to put some links in the show notes. There are practice exams and resources out there. It's going to help you get familiar with the format of the testing and help you brush up your skills on just that critical thinking under stress. Next, make sure that you are ready to pass a medical examination. So make sure you're in good health, in good physical and psychological standing. And if there's things that you need to get in order, whether it be documentation to explain certain conditions, make sure that you take a look at that. You may also want to research what the FAA might be looking for as disqualifiers for air traffic controllers and their medical to make sure that you're not going to go through all these steps and then be disappointed because you have a medical condition that will bar you from service as a controller. And finally, networking and learning. We talk about networking an awful lot here, but consider contacting a current controller. You can find all kinds of controllers on different Facebook groups within the aviation community, or contact an FAA facility, see if you can get a visit. I know that for a while they had some tours and visits shut down, but it seems like more and more facilities are starting to open up for tours, and especially if they're going to be starting up a hiring window, this might be a great opportunity to contact your local facility and schedule a tour, get to know some of those controllers, and start doing some networking and learning. So, could a career in air traffic control be your next step? If you're ready for that challenge, the FAA's Fall 2024 hiring window is the perfect time to take that leap. It's a job that's going to require dedication, focus, and passion for aviation safety, but the rewards both personally and professionally are immense. So for more information, check out the resources that I put down in the show notes, where you can find application resources, videos, and tips that are going to help guide you through an air traffic control hiring process. As always, I hope that this episode has been helpful for anyone considering a transition into an aviation career and hopefully future controllers out there. Don't forget to subscribe to Fly the Transition for more insight into aviation careers and tips for making your career change. So until next time, keep your eyes on the skies and your dreams soaring high.
You've been listening to Fly the Transition. Life is too short for you not to do what you love. And our passion is to give you all the tools you need to make the transition from doing what you do to being in the aviation industry. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. And we'll be back soon. But in the meantime, you can reach out by email at flythetransition@gmail.com. Find us on Facebook at Fly the Transition. And the website for Flying Midwest Media is flyingmidwest.com. Keep soaring. See you next time on Fly the Transition.